This is the first thing we've ever made at VRFY, and we call it the uniform. And I kept coming back to this one question: what actually makes something a uniform? It's a whole system where the pieces are actually meant to work together. So let's talk about the run hood. The run hood actually started with my watch, and every runner knows this. You're always looking at your watch. So instead of asking how much coverage we could add, we actually started asking how much coverage we actually needed and worked backwards. And that's how we landed on a sleeve that stops exactly at the wrist. The watch sits exactly where it wants to sit, so it's really just one less thing pulling your attention away every time you look down so that you can focus on your run. The hood came from a very different question. We built a single piece that works with a hat, a hijab, or both, and it still feels like one garment instead of layers fighting each other. Airflow became the next big problem we needed to solve. So we ended up placing perforations that sit exactly where the heat needed to escape. The fabric itself is also really intentional. We call it SolarKnit. It's our sun protection workhorse, real UPF protection without the weight. Let's talk about the tech hood. The tech hood started outside of training. Think more hiking, paddleboarding, traveling, being outside for hours. And the same problem kept showing up: real UV protection. It felt really heavy and restrictive, and the light stuff just didn't cover enough. A lot of garments feel long until you move, especially for some of our taller women. The thumb holes extend coverage over your hands, and the hood became part of the whole sun system. Let's talk about the half zip. So the half zip came from being caught between products. A hoodie felt too casual, and a training layer felt a little too athletic. There's really nothing in the middle, and my day is always moving between environments. Lifting, coffee, traveling, and the demands kept changing. Zipped, it's structured and covered, and opened, it's more relaxed and breathable. Same with the side zips as well, which gives you a little bit more flexibility in movement. So the lighter colorways run in SolarKnit, and the darker ones add that antibacterial finish, which honestly just matters a lot more when the piece is living in your gym bag. So let's talk about the training tee. Something that felt like mesh, but without looking like mesh. And that fabric is the air mesh. And getting it right came down to balancing airflow with opacity, because once the fabric is light enough to really move air, and what I love is that it's not a super loud piece. It just quietly does its job, which is probably exactly what a gym training shirt should do. Let's talk about the hijab. None of the apparel matters if the hijab isn't working. So we ended up making 4 completely different hijabs across 2 different fabrics. Our high impact hijab is something that we've been chasing since the very start of VRFY. A hijab that you genuinely forget that you're wearing. So we got really focused on stability. The silicone grip along the front keeps it really secure without shifting, and the back is cut for a bun because that's how a lot of us actually train. The neck also secures the fit and lets you shape it so that you don't get that really weird flattened sports hijab look. Now let's talk about the grip hijab. Not everyone wants fabric around their neck. So the grip hijab has the same silicone grip dot along the front, and it's got an adjustable tie at the nape so that you get to control the fit and the style however you want it. It's really for women who want the lightest possible feel while they're moving. Let's talk about the Ready Set hijab. So the Ready Set is actually an instant slip-on hijab. You throw it on, you head out, and you don't really have to overthink much. Super lightweight, it's really moisture wicking, and the tail gives you enough room to style it however you want. Let's talk about the free wrap. A lot of women already know exactly what they like to wrap. They don't like the sports hijab telling them how, and a traditional jersey hijab was never built for movement or heat or sweating. So people just happen to wear it that way. So we took that familiar wrap in jersey and we rebuilt it in wrap veil. The soft drape stays, but it performs in a completely different way. Bottoms are the hardest part because there isn't one definition of modesty. Some women live in leggings, some won't wear them at all, some want a jogger, and some want a wider silhouette. For the leggings, we focus on performance, empowering it, storage, retention, and a cool feeling, and staying exactly where they're supposed to. For the joggers and the straight wave legs, we used our EcoMove fabric, which is a recycled fabric that moves well and basically refuses to wrinkle. We also have a softer option in Cloud Modal, that silk soft modal blend, for the days that you want coverage without anything technical on your skin. And for more coverage, that's where the Active Wrap came from. In Flex Layer, a true 4-way stretch, something I keep in my gym bag and pull out before a leg day. I throw it on after a run, or just I wear on the days when I want a little bit more coverage without changing my whole outfit. We weren't trying to tell women what bodices should look like. We made the options and let you decide. Honestly, the part that I'm most excited about is how all of these pieces go together. Uniform is a kit. It's a bunch of pieces that you can keep recombining. So that's really a fun part to me because you get to mix and match and kind of just choose based on the activity or how you're feeling that day. You can go head to toe in one tone for that clean monochromatic look. We were actually designing for the way women actually live. The run before work, the hike on the weekend, the workout squeezed in between everything else. Every piece in this collection started with a real problem, a real frustration, or a real experience. On their own, they're just products, but together they make a uniform, one that moves with you, adapts with you, and supports whatever version of you shows up that day. You're an athlete in a hijab, not a hijabi athlete. That's VRFY.